Hi everyone, myself Nakku Prithvi. Today I'm going to tell you about IAM services. This I'm doing the lecture as a series of lectures. In this lecture, I will give you IAM intro, basic intro. Later, I will define the IAM entities, identities like users, IAM users, what are IAM roles, policies, and groups. So before going into the IAM, so I think almost all of you have know what is AWS and what is it is used for. But to give you a brief intro, AWS is a cloud platform, computing platform that provides customers with a wide array of cloud services. Simply, it is a secure cloud services that offers compute power and database storage and content delivery. So this is about AWS, and if you want to log in, so go to aws.amazon.com and sign into console, and you can create a new account if you don't have one. If you want, I can do a separate video for that, but I assume that most of you know that. So you can use as a root user or IAM user. So let me log in. So the difference between the users, when to use which user, what is the importance of users, I will do in a separate lecture. But so after creating an account, you can log in via username and email ID and password. This is a root user login. There is an IAM user login also. I will explain in detail in future videos. Let's sign in. Okay, you need to sign in again. So if you sign in, you will get the console like this. So now we need to go to IAM service. So what is IAM service? IAM service is nothing but it is a web service provided by AWS which controls the access to AWS resources, compute, storage, those resources. It will give the control access. Basically, two terms are important here: authentication and authorization. IAM is responsible for both authentication and authorization. Authentication is like who is signed in, the person or the credentials via who is signed in, and authorization corresponds to the permissions. After logging into the account, the user or the role or whatever, what are the permissions uh, he is having over AWS resources. Those two things are the key concepts of IAM. So it is well integrated with all AWS services, and it is a global service unlike regional service. There are basically regions in AWS, you already may know. So there are AWS consists of the nothing but backend. There are physical data centers. So AWS is having, Amazon is having those data centers in different regions, like Virginia region, Ohio region, and California. So with respect to those availability of data centers, they have divided the regions they have provided. So the services like compute, EC2 instance, databases like RTS are dependent on the regions. So in the regions are subdivided into availability zones, which we will deal later. But when coming to IAM, it is a global service. Means if you created in the account, one account, uh, it is used for all the regions. It can be used for all the regions. So that is the meaning of this global service. So now quickly let us go to IAM features. So I have used the like AWS documentation because it is a pretty good documentation. So what are the features available in IAM? So it will give shared access to your AWS account, means multiple users can use the same account. It's not like since I am accessing, I need to create one account and another person is accessing, they need to create account. It's not like that. for in each account there can be uh, n number of users can be present. The limit and everything we'll discuss later, but approximately uh, the limit we will discuss later. But there are it's not like every individual user having a separate account, so all the users having same account. And granular permissions using IAM, you can provide the particular access. For example, EC2 permissions are needed, so you can provide a user or role. uh, like let assume it is an entity, you can provide a granular permissions to particular service. Secure access to AWS resources for applications that run Amazon EC2. So the documentation is anyway present here. So I have taken the reference from here itself, Amazon documentation. So secure access to AWS resources, nothing but like it will provide a secure access like roles uh, you for Amazon EC2. MFA, it provides multi-layer authentication, which I will cover in a separate video, very important. So uh, after logging in, it is directly logged in, but before entering the console, after entering credentials, there is a another step called MFA, which we can there are three ways. It's like we need to authenticate by using virtual device, or I will explain that in detail later. So using Google Authenticator is a most used way. So you need to install Google Authenticator and you need to configure, and it will provide a MFA codes when we are logging in. So another feature is like identity federation. So this is also one good thing, and most of the organizations, corporate organizations, use this method. So this means like when we logged in to particular corporate network, from there you will be directly provided permissions to login, authentication to login. So that I think authentication is provided by our roles. So when you log into a corporate network like a single sign on, so you will be taken to select different type of roles assigned to you. When you select a particular role which corresponds to an account, you will be able to log into that account. This feature also I will make a separate video. So identity information for assurance, AWS like monitor or log the API calls made to AWS services in AWS CloudTrail. So that is one of the feature which is provided by AWS. So it is a PCI DSS compliance. So you can get more information here. It is like a data standard, industry standard, which need to be followed. Another important, since it is AWS service, so it is well integrated with other AWS services. And another feature is eventually consistent, means like if you change any policy in IAM, you need to wait for the things to reflect, so it is not immediate. So that is a feature of IAM. Free to use, there is no cost for using this service. So for using, if you create a users or roles or policies or items in like in IAM, so there is a zero cost associated. So those are the features, and the main features, the highlighted ones, like free to use, integrated with many AWS services, it is compliant with PCI DSS, MFA, granular provision. These are the main features of IAM. So up next, what I will do is like I will show what are the IAM entities, identities, like users, user groups, policies and roles, which I will explain in detail. So this video is done to get you a brief knowledge on IAM, introduction on IAM, what exactly it is, and what is AWS account, and how to, what is the console, how it look, looks like, and what is the IAM console looks like, and how the service is a global service, whether what it is used for both authentication and authorization. Those things we have learned. So up next we will learn these things. So yeah.